everybody. Welcome to this chat we're having today with Heidi Loo. So Heidi, welcome to this NYSI chat.
Thank you for having me.
So Heidi, maybe you could just share with everyone how old you are this year, where you're studying, and your sport and particularly your weapon of choice.
This year I'm 17 and I'm studying at Eunoia JC, and currently my weapon of choice is saber.
Maybe you could also share with us so that we understand a little bit better. What sports did you do when you were in primary school?
In primary school and secondary school, I both did gymnastics, and I did gymnastics since I was 5 years old, and like continuing all the way up until I'm 16.
How did you get started in gymnastics?
My mom suggested that I started gymnastics since I was 5, so I learned it from a club where I started doing gymnastics all the way until I'm 16.
And then what about fencing? When did you start doing fencing?
I picked up fencing when I was around 12 after PSLE, and I decided to handle both sports at the same time from Sec 1 all the way to Sec 4.
Oh, okay. So what made you do both sports? Why did you not stop one? Because a lot of times people just focus on one sport in Singapore.
I enjoyed both sports because I have done gymnastics for a really, really long time, and I really enjoyed it. And fencing, when I first picked it up, at first I was a bit apprehensive because it's an entirely new sport. But in the end, I really loved the sport in the end and decided to continue out with it.
Gymnastics has artistic and then trampoline. Which one did you do?
At the start, from 5 all the way until like 12 or 13, around there, I've been doing artistic gymnastics. But then in the end, I decided to switch to trampoline gymnastics, yeah.
So did you see any relationship between gymnastics and fencing? Did gymnastics help you in any way in fencing?
Gymnastics really concentrates on flexibility, endurance, and strength, and this really helped me out in my fencing. This helped me be able to pick up fencing quite easily, as fencing we really use all those, especially in like, for example, our lunge, we have to like stretch, and we really need flexibility and strength. Yeah, so I think it really helped me out a lot.
Okay, so you have gymnastics, you have fencing, then I understand you were also in the integrated program at St. Nicholas Girls. So was it a huge challenge balancing studies and two sports?
At the start, it was a bit difficult to handle all three at one go, so my studies weren't the best at the start. However, I managed to pick up a few studying techniques that helped me be able to handle all three of them at the same time. For example, I'll spend all my free time like trying to like catch up my work, or like before I go for overseas competition a week before, I'll set consultations with each of my teachers to catch up on what subjects to do and like what topics you'll be doing next, yeah.
Did you think that you needed to stop a sport, or did anyone tell you, hey, Heidi, studies aren't so great, maybe you better stop gymnastics?
My parents were really supportive as they encouraged me to like try and handle all three at one go because I really wanted to, and they helped me out in many ways. Like for example, they helped me shave off all the smallest bit of time. For example, I like go from my gymnastics training area to my fencing training area. They like take time off just to fetch me to between those two places, and they also supported me in many, many ways to help me like handle all three at one go. My teachers were also quite supportive, where they are willing to like actually like let me set consultations with them so that I'll be able to prepare and handle all three at one go. Yeah.
Well, that's great to have all that support. So when did you get selected into the national training squad?
I got selected into the national training squad when I was around 14, yeah. Then I managed to like, I started taking fencing like really seriously and go for overseas competitions. I managed to build up the rank points to get into the national training squad.
So what was your reaction to getting selected?
When I first got selected, I was really, really surprised and quite shocked also. But I was also quite excited because it's like really my first time like entering this whole new like different sport, yeah.
So when was the first time you got to wear Singapore colours and represent Singapore in an international fencing competition?
The first time I managed to represent Singapore was when I was around 15, yeah, in 2018, where I took part in the Asian Junior and Cadet Championship and the World Junior and Cadet Championship.
Within the same year?
Yeah, within the same year. The Asian Championship was at Dubai and the World Championship was at Italy. Yeah, and it was a really brand new experience and it was quite exciting.
So what were the highlights of both championships? Maybe you can start with the Asian one.
For the Asian Championship, it was quite exciting because my team managed to get third place, and it was like, wow, we actually managed to get a world, like in the Asian Championship, we managed to get a medal for our team, and I'm really proud of our teammates and I. Yeah.
So first time representing Singapore, you came home with a medal.
Yeah, for third place in team. Yeah.
So what about the World Cadet Championships?
In the World Cadet Championship, I managed to make it past pools, which to me was considered quite a feat, as it's like my first time ever going like for this World Championship. Yeah, I was a bit nervous, but it was really exciting.
So in the space of 4 years training, competing, you must have traveled to quite a few countries in fencing.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you counted, and how many countries do you think you've traveled to already?
I haven't really counted properly, but maybe around like 6 to 7 countries. Yeah.
The last 4 years, traveling, training, competing, and then this year, life changed completely because of COVID-19. What championships did you miss out on this year?
So this year, I was supposed to take part in another Asian Junior and Cadet Championship and the World one too. And this is really disappointing. Okay, so these 2 competitions were held in Indonesia and USA. And of course, due to COVID, we really cannot travel overseas. And this is my last cadet competition within this age group. And it was really a huge disappointment to like miss this final competition of my life for this age category. Yeah.
That's very disappointing. Yeah, must have been very painful to miss out.
Yeah.
So how did the circuit breaker change your training routine?
In circuit breaker, me and my teammates used to joke that actually fencing should be allowed, as we like have our saber out and we're supposed to keep distance of like maybe like 2 meters apart. So we technically obliged to the safe distancing rules, as we also wear masks too. But yeah, all jokes aside, we can't take part in physical training, of course. And so my club decided to have online trainings through Zoom. And we even have our own makeshift dummy where I made my dummy out of like a clothes hanger and I put my mask on it and decided to like hit it. Yeah, so it was quite interesting to be able to like, and it was quite fun where I managed to like keep up my physical skills and my fencing skills at the same time. Yeah.
But did you feel a loss of motivation during circuit breaker?
At one point, it was a bit demotivating to like find out that maybe most of our competitions be cancelled, and like our training, we can't even see our own teammates and fence in real life, and it feels really weird to like fence with just one dummy hanging on a clothes hanger. So like it was a bit strange at the start. But in the end, we managed to like pick up our motivation and realize like we just need to hang in through this, and eventually this would pass over. Yeah.
So it was weird training on your own, fencing with a dummy.
Yeah.
Was it also weird when you all got to go back and do face-to-face training again?
Okay, so when we got back, now with all the safe distancing rules, you only can have like 5 in a group. So I can see my teammates across the hall, but I can't even cross over and talk to them. So it's a bit strange where like I only can fence with like 4 other people in my group, and you have to like every second like put on hand sanitizer and quickly rub, and like yeah, and always scanning the QR code every time you enter. But it's a new experience and it's quite interesting.
So looking back at all the fencing competitions you've gone to, can you share with us maybe one particularly negative experience that you went through that you think you'll remember for life?
Well, last year I went to Austria and there was a competition there. It was my last cadet competition. And all my family was there, members were there to like support me. However, I didn't do really well, as it was like I was under a lot of pressure. It was my last competition as a cadet, and I thought I should be able to like do quite well considering it's my last competition. However, I did quite badly and got kicked out of pools.
Okay, so how about the flip side? What has been a positive experience in the last 4 years that will also stay with you for the rest of your life?
One exciting experience was last year where it was the World Junior and Cadet Championship. I went against the top seeded fencer, Honor Johnson from USA. And it was quite interesting as I managed to like hold my ground and fence all the way into 12-15 where it was like a back and forth of like a few points. And yeah, it was a very interesting experience and quite exciting too.
So there were points during the bout where you were actually in the lead too?
A few moments I like occasionally took over, but yeah.
Did it cross your mind that you could actually win?
At some point I was like, wow, I was actually like doing better than I thought it would. Yeah.
Okay. So Heidi, thank you very much for sharing all your experiences with viewers out there. And I hope that all the competitions will come back online soon so that you can go on to bigger and better things. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.